Cunnie Gittel, my great-great-grandmother, was always a mystery. We knew she was buried on Mount of Olives, but nobody knew where. All my childhood it was always known that it's impossible to find her grave. I decided to try and break that mystery. This is the beginning of our story. Here is Fanny, one of Cunnie Gittel's daughters, with her husband and her children. Father's lap is sitting Janet, my grandmother, as a child, and here she is later on in her life at the family do. This is Anne, Barbara's mother, Deborah's grandmother, and here's Anne at her wedding, and Anne at Barbara's wedding, with all her brothers and sisters together with Janet, and these are Cunnie Gittel's grandchildren. This is my connection to Cunnie Gittel. She lived in comfortable circumstances with her family in Kovno, Lithuania, until her husband was murdered. About 1880, she moved with her family to Leeds, England, where her daughter Fanny had already settled. England, 1912. All Cunnie Gittel's children are married, have children, and she decides to leave England. She leaves from Liverpool, and here she is landing in Palestine. She comes to live in Jerusalem. And here we continue our story and our mystery. This cemetery started as Canaanite, Jebusite, continued into Jewish, became Muslim, and since the 1500s, we know again that Jews are being buried here on Mount of Olives. To add to all this, they're buried here to be close to Temple Mount, so that when the Messiah comes, they'll be close and won't have to crawl under all the burrows in the ground to get up to the temple. So that's why people come to this site to be buried, not just to visit. While I was taking groups of Mount of Olives, I learned more and more about the mountain and about the secrets and how it is built and what is the system to find graves. And this initiated me to go back and try and find my great-grandmother's grave.
Yeah, that's good enough. No. You take.
Cunnie Gittel.
Yehoshua.
Bat Yoshua. Just one name. Bat Yoshua. Cunnie Gittel. Cunnie Gittel.
פרקי תהילים שנוהגים לומר ושבעים להשתטח על הקברים.
He doesn't say the whole thing because the ציבור
because of ציבור.
זה יושב בסתר. לבב חוכמה, שמור תעמורי ישר, כי אחרית לי שלום. אך אלוהים יפדה נפשי מיד שאול, כי ככה ניסלה, כלה אשר יהיו לבבי, צור לבבי וחלקי אלוהים לעולם. וישוב ועפר על הארץ, כשהיה והרוח תשוב, אל האלוהים אשר נתנה. אני בצדק אחזה פניך, אשבעה בקי צורנתך.
And one day I decided this is ridiculous, I know it's impossible, but I'll make one phone call. I knew it was really difficult and therefore she must be buried in some unusual Chevra Kadisha. So I phoned the Sfaradim and I phoned the Yerushalayim and I phoned the Hasidim and in the end I phoned the Pushim, the Mitnagdim. And he said, yes, of course. And he said, Cunnie Gittel Dorman. And it was actually Erev Yom HaShoah. And he said, Cunnie Gittel Dorman from England, daughter of Rebbe Yoshua. She bought the grave in her life. She paid for it. And then he gave me the address. Chelkat Gimel, Shura 13, Kever 18.
Amen.
Grandmother was Cunnie Gittel, and the 4 children she brought to Leeds from Kovno, Lithuania, were Shani Rivi, our mother Fanny Leah, Flory, who died young and whose children were always in our house, and Uncle Jack. So Uncle Jack was the youngest?
Yes, he was the youngest, yes.
What?
But did she bring them all?
One lady came to grandmother and said, Connie, I must speak to you. You know how anxious I am for my son to marry, and he's fallen in love with your daughter Fanny. We are such good friends. I know you will be agreeable. Will Fanny be influenced by you? Yes, said my grandmother, she is a good, obedient daughter. Then why are you hesitant? Grandmother then explained that there was an insuperable obstacle. There were 2 people who would not agree. They were Fanny's husband and son.
That's fair enough, isn't it? That's fair enough.
My grandmother, Janet Lieberman, is telling that her mother, her father, I should say, her father, Yehuda Meir, drove with Uncle Morris, who was the next generation. Uncle Morris, who was Cunnie Gittel's brother-in-law,
And cousin.
he had come back from Palestine, went on a trip with Yehuda Meir Lieberman,
And on one of the drives, some wild youth, seeing 2 old bearded Jews, deliberately attacked the trap, spinning it round, and the 2 occupants were thrown to the ground. They were taken to a hospital. Father was not seriously hurt.
Father is Yehuda Meir, Fanny's husband.
And recovered in some weeks. But Uncle Morris was seriously injured and he died. It was a most grievous loss to the family and to the whole Jewish community in Leeds. Hundreds who have attended his funeral. This was in 1914 at the age 70.
Fanny.